We are very happy to have all of you here for this interaction. Especially I welcome Mr. Setu Ramalingam, Ms. Supriya Suri and Ms. Sakshi Singh, Mr. Hitesh Chourasia from NID. I guess, some of us have seen the films that were shown today. And it may be better perhaps because, all of us have not seen these films, that you tell a little about your film also, other than, say a little more if possible. So first I would request Mr. Setu Ramalingam, who presented this film Among the Stars today, to tell us about his film.
Good afternoon, everyone. I feel really proud to be here, and thank you for the MIFF for organizing such a big and prestigious giving and recognition for every independent filmmakers. Okay. And my name is Setu Ramalingam. I have directed the film name called Among the Stars. It is an animated short film, and its genre is about science fiction. And I would like to tell you about few lines about my short film, how it got processed, the conceptual evolution. So Among the Stars, it's about a girl, Nakshatra, who is the chief commander, going for an leading the team for an extra interstellar planet. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. This is the first time I'm having press conference. So she's leading a team. They found a exoplanet which is more habitable like Earth, which is 12.5 light years away. So she's the lead commander. When she is about to leave, she is recalling all her beautiful moments and how the Earth journey throughout the time, how the human civilization prospered the way they are. Like the way we are heading towards the way we are heading now is really chaos. So much of political instability is happening all around the world. The film is all about what can we achieve as a civilization if we all stay united and march hand in hand for a betterment of humanity. So that's the core idea which sparked inside me to make this film Among the Stars. So I'm not a professional animator or anything, so I wanted to tell the story, but I don't know how to bring that to screen. If I have to bring that kind of story, I have to approach any animation media like studios. It will cost around me about so much. So I started learning myself animation bit by bit. It took about 2 months to get comfortable with the animation. And after 2 months of trial and errors, I become some intermediate in animation and I started developing the shorts. So that way it took about 10 months to complete this film, and yet now it is being screened. I feel really proud today. Thank you, MIFF, for such an opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Setu. Today we also have with us Sakshi Singh. She has made a film on a very interesting subject, which involves kind of mental health issues and also interpersonal relationships, like say between a father and his daughter, who's a clinical psychologist. I request her to tell us about her film.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sakshi. I am the director of Kashn and the co-writer of it. So Kashn is a fictional short film about mental health, where a discussion between a family starts at a dinner table, and how just like a normal conversation, things eventually escalate when the main protagonist, the father, starts discussing his daughter's profession, who is a clinical psychologist, and just his opinions on mental health and her job as a mental health professional. And as she enters the house, a debate sparks on the dinner table, and she storms off, getting frustrated by her father's comments on her job. And as he goes to find her in the house, he walks past his three memories that deeply affected him as a child or as a growing adult. And that's what we see in the film, of how mental health issues have been there with him since he was a kid, and how he eventually realizes it and seeks help for it with the help of his daughter. This film idea came to us, to me and my co-writer, early in March last year, and so we wrote the first draft. We had a premise, and then we eventually looked into funding. We made a film in about a week span, less than a week, and thank you MIFF for giving the opportunity to screen the film. And what you saw early in the morning at 10 o'clock was our film Shan, which was the journey of a man eventually realizing that he has mental health issues and he should seek help for it.
Thank you, Sakshi. We also have with us from NID Ahmedabad, Mr. Hitesh Chourasia. The films, animation films he has brought from NID Ahmedabad will be screened on 1st and 2nd of June.
Live action films.
Yeah.
Not animation.
Yeah, so these are not animation films.
No.
These are live action films. Okay, I'm sorry. These are live action films. These are like fiction films.
Fiction and documentaries both.
Both. Okay. So I request Hitesh Chourasia ji to tell us about the package that he has brought to us. Yes.
Thank you, MIFF. I am Hitesh Chourasia, faculty at Film and Video Communication discipline at NID Ahmedabad. We both have a very active animation department as well as film department, and they both work as independent disciplines where we offer bachelor's and master's program. So the film package that I am representing here includes both graduation film as well as the course film that the student made as part of their coursework. So this includes 3 graduation film: An Early Spring by Pramati Anand, Darroj by Varun Sharma, and Bali by Mrinalini. These are all 3 graduation films which students do after their course outside NID to earn the degree of their respective bachelor's or master's. We also have 4 coursework films because during the coursework they do short fiction and short documentaries. So the fictions are Kaula Shivla by Sanju Kadu and Jananam by Ajay KTV, and non-fiction is Rijak Roti by Krishnaraj Soni and Yahudim by Lavneet Bhatt. And all these films cover different aspects from, say, gender issues to rituals and myth and the lives in Ahmedabad as they make their films in Ahmedabad. So the subject of these different films are diverse. The screenings are scheduled on 1st June afternoon in this I think RR3 from 2 p.m. So I invite everyone to come, and maybe after the screening we will be present there. 2 student groups are also here from bachelor's and master program who are attending MIFF. So post screening, if you would like to know more about the films, I'll be there to discuss with you about individual films. On 1st June we have 4 film screening, and 2nd June we have 3 film screening in the morning session. Thank you.
Thank you, Hitesh ji. So I guess now we can request, Mr. Setu Ramalingam to take the questions, whatever questions are there about his film. His film is about this space travel and the remembrance of the protagonist of the life on the earth. So what made you, because this is a very novel subject, different kind of subject, what made you take up this kind of subject?
I wanted to take this particular genre, science fiction, which is rarely touched by Indian filmmakers. So I wanted to explain, and I'm always fascinated with the science fiction contents. So I wanted to try this some kind of unique science fiction subject. So when I look at the stars, it always fascinates me to what's out there. Is there any life elsewhere in the universe? That's the only question which I ask when I look at the stars. So in the near future, when a human civilization finds the clue for life elsewhere in the universe, how do they react? And to achieve such kind of development, what they are doing now, by looking at the present situation of this human civilization, there are lots of division among humans, like religion, caste, everything. So these are the barriers which is stopping us from developing into a highly advanced civilization. So when we don't differentiate persons, creating chaos around the world, hand in hand we are marching towards if we march hand in hand for the betterment of world, it would be the result like I have shown in my film. It's just a take how human civilization falls down into the ashes and how they again rise up in a better way. That's the idea of the whole film. So yeah, that's the thing which sparked me for this kind of content.
Any questions about the film, about his ideas, his work?
Could you elaborate on how did you learn the art of animation?
Basically, I'm an architect, so modeling was something which I can do comfortably. So it helped me to create an environment. And only thing I was about to learn was how to animate characters. Being a beginner in the animation, I used available resources online. I downloaded few royalty-free 3D models and used it in a film, and I've given proper credits to them. So, and I've made a lot of models myself from scratch and used it in a film. The animation was the little tough process. It really was really tough. So it took me around 10 months to complete this film. It was really tough. Yes.
That is more time consuming.
Yeah, lots of time consuming. If I am maybe a professional, it wouldn't have taken so much time. It took me about that time.
What's the duration of a film?
It's about 9 minutes. And I have also kept references of today's legend, like Ilayaraja sirs will be playing on the spaceship in the future. Like how we have to celebrate our legends, we should not forget our legends in the future also. Their legacy continues. That's the way I have kept the reference for cultural identity in a film.
Great. Speaking about mental health, what do you think is the state in the country right now?
Oh God, that's exactly what my film is about. It talks about a man in his 50s who explores his past and realizes he has mental health problems. And that's the thing, right? Not a lot of us are open to discussing conversations around mental health or even in our own family. We know how triggered certain subjects like this can be because of how stigmatized and how triggered these things have been to begin with. And that's exactly what my film is about, to seek help when you need it and to understand that no one else can help you out other than yourself. You have to understand your own gaps, and where there are certain parts that you might need help from someone else that maybe your family friend or like a sibling can't help you with. So that's what my film is about, just seeking help when needed and understanding that it's not a wrong thing to ask help if you have any issues going on with yourself. So that's what my film discovers. As a man, he works through his past of being bullied as a kid or being rejected as a teenager, and how his father doesn't accept him, and how all of that is what has just been piling over and over again for a really long time, because of which he has a reaction to his daughter the way he reacts to her. And seek help when you need it, and understand it's not wrong to ask help. It's okay if you talk about it. And that's the main reason why we picked a male protagonist, because in a country like India, women are more comfortable talking about such issues. Maybe not that much, but again, me as a Gen Z millennial person, it's more easier to talk to me. Like even me and my friends can catch up with each other. Unlike the older generations, So yeah, that's exactly why I picked a character, someone who's in 50s, and looking at the situation of the country, being in lockdown, it was very claustrophobic to be stuck in a small box, right? Unlike how our lives were lived before, how there was somewhat a balance there outside even when you went out. But yeah, when you're all of a sudden stuck in a house together, and there are issues you have to deal with in general, you don't really have a place to release it. And this film was exploring just that, of how being suffocated on a dinner table and then being suffocated in your own memories was holding him back, holding a man back to realizing that maybe, yeah, he needs help. Maybe he can talk to his daughter, and maybe he can accept her profession as a doctor. Yeah.
So what is the significance of the title Shan?
Shan means moment in Hindi and Marathi, and that's exactly it. It's the moment he has to, he goes back in. It's the moment he realizes that, oh, maybe I actually need help. And that's what actually inspired the title Shan. For the longest time it was just going untitled. The father and daughter, his own memories, and it's all about moments in this film itself, right? It's the moment he has an argument with his daughter. It's the moment he decides to go and reconcile with her. It's the three moments he walks into, the three significant memories he walks into the film, and that's exactly what inspired us to keep the title Shan, which is moment.
Have you studied psychology as a subject, and I mean, what was the trigger to take up this subject for you?
So I'm not a psychology student, I'm a filmmaking student only.
Okay, yeah.
But I have friends who are pursuing subjects like psychology, and I've seen the kind of reactions they get when they say they're pursuing something like psychology and they're becoming a therapist, or they're studying to become one. Yeah, that's what triggered me to make this film, of how you have to live in a society where mental health again is not such an accepted subject in general. Okay, like I'm saying, maybe millennials and Gen Z is accepted topic, but still there's a lot of stigma around the subject like that. And that's exactly what triggered me to make the film. Also, just again, pandemic in general, everyone's mental health, irrespective of your age, gender, wherever you stay, was affected in general. So that's exactly what triggered me to make a film like Shan.
I've not seen the film, but I would like to ask you, in your film, what has been given more importance? This kind of being imprisoned due to pandemic, or the past history of this elderly person?
So what we focus on is the past history of someone, because that's it, right? Something like anxiety. There's a significant dialogue in my film that says, is anxiety like COVID now? That's exactly what I'm trying to focus is you can't catch something like anxiety. It's something you already have, and you just have to understand that you have to seek help that you need for it. You can't catch it. It's not a virus flying outside your window or between people. It's something you maybe start developing as maybe a kid, maybe as a teenager. You don't know what triggers it, and it's better to seek help for it instead of just like letting it all stay shut inside a closet.
We have 7 films. You want me to elaborate on 7?
You have done all the 7 films, or a group of people?
I'm the faculty representing the students. The students have made the film. I'm not the director of either of the films. 3 of the students are already graduated because these are their graduation film. And Early Spring, Bali, and The Rose. These 3 are our graduation film. So students are already out of campus. They have finished their degrees. 4 films are coursework film. We call it design project. So they make at the end of each semester they end up making 1 film. So roughly we make say around 100 films a year as a discipline, including various categories and masters and bachelor's programs. So these are some of the selected.
The art of filmmaking in general, or you take up subjects and you try and address that? What is the idea?
See, being a design institute, we are looking forward at the issues which are socially relevant and through which we can address some of the systematic problem. So in design institute we study something called systems design. So the system of gender, system of caste, system of corruption, political system, economical system, these are all systems. So in filmmaking, you of course can't provide a solution to these systems which are deep rooted and like going on now for centuries, but at least through film and video communication, what we try to bring focus to is the issues that are relevant. So it's a mix of things. Sometimes we give the brief and student make the films on that. Sometimes student pick up the brief and they make film on it. But through our courses, most of the time, like if you go through all the 7 synopses that are there, like say Kavala Shiva is the film where a young kid of 12 years old is realizing about the menstruation issue. How does first time a kid come to know that what is his mother is going through every month, and that sensitization which is missing in India. If you say Bali, which is set in Himachal Pradesh, made by Mrinalini, it's a film about the local deities, myths and belief system which are so ingrained deep in our society that you can't move a step ahead unless you do a puja to certain local god and goddesses and all those belief system which makes our system, which makes our culture. Similarly, an early spring is about when a girl from an urban background goes to a rural place in Uttarakhand and she starts living, how the girl over there starts changing and the villagers find it problematic because the local girls also start raising voice, they also start asking questions, being with this urban girl who is educated. So the villagers find it very, very difficult. So our students get into all these different kind of aspects. The Yahudim, the film is about the documentation of the rich history of Jews in Ahmedabad. So Lavneet Bhatt, who made that film, explored this rich history in Ahmedabad, how they lived, where like how they traveled and actually settled in Ahmedabad, and you know how their future looks like now with their traditions. So all the different films have different kind of subjects. And we encourage our students to take up diverse issues.
These are subjects which are contemporary and there in the news, and you think of making.
It's not so reflective also. Of course, that informs sometimes the choices of students. Like right now, they are making films on, say, the subject of tolerance, how this is affecting the society and the culture in general, and how the diversity of India is being affected with this whole attitude. So they sometimes it's very relevant subject, contemporary subject, or sometimes it's what they come with their upbringing. Like say Mrinalini comes from Himachal only and she has seen this thing. So through the film she has actually explored her childhood. Like whatever she has seen, grandparents, her parents, her relatives, in each wedding what kind of rituals are followed, and she was questioning it as a filmmaker. And through that she weaved in this story called Bali, which is the sacrifice in English. So yeah, this is how the students pick up the different subjects. And in graduation project they are free to choose their subject. They can do fiction, non-fiction, whatever their choice is. We don't impose our, say that you have to only do fiction or non-fiction. In the coursework they have semester-wise constant, that one semester is fiction, non-fiction, commercial, other things. But graduation project, based on their choice and interest, they are free to choose their subject. They are free to choose their producers also. They work mostly with the industry. They go and look for sponsorship. They look for grants available and through different ministries and government sectors. And it is a sponsored project which belongs to students. A faculty just help and guide student to complete the film as an academic guide. Otherwise, students make it independently on their own, outside the institute.
The challenges that they normally come across, is it funding or know-how of building the film?
Yeah, like they face the problem that any independent filmmaker in this country might be facing. So they want to do certain kind of films based on their learning, based on their understanding of the craft and medium of filmmaking. But yeah, sometimes people say that being an academic project, they still don't understand that as a producer they can own the copyright, which is now happening with a lot of OTT platforms are interested, because we are running this program for last 4 decades. So like 40 years and so many films and archive of Ahmedabad and rest of the country. So now a lot of platforms are interested to acquire that content, because our student has been like we have films where none of the bridges, riverfront didn't existed in Ahmedabad. All that the Modi government did in the development work, nothing was there. It was Sabarmati, dry Sabarmati, people washing their clothes, doing agriculture in that dry Sabarmati river. So all that documentation is there. So we have that archive, and now a lot of people are interested. But the student primarily face the challenge in terms of the kind of subject they want to raise and the way they want to treat the films. Sometimes wherever they get the funding, they are either not interested in the kind of treatment or they are not interested in the subject. So our student also do the other way around. If you come up with a topic, like say if a NGO is interested or any organization is interested, they take the brief as a designer, as a filmmaker. They are trained to do that also. They can always make films for a given brief in the given time, in the given resources. And that's what the USP of NID students is. You tell them to make a film in 7 days, they can make a film in 7 days with a clear brief.
For the graduation project, the students opt for non-fiction or fiction. I mean, what do they opt for more?
It's both.
Both.
Even it's beyond that also. They do short fiction, they shoot short documentaries, as well as they can do commercials also. So if they are doing a project with a sponsored corporate company, they can make corporate films, they can do ad films, they can do music videos. And now with the media opening up, we are also opening up to 360 videos and VR films also. So very soon our student will start making VR films and 360 degree films also as part of their graduation film, because we are introducing it in the course. So once they know how to do it, we will be open to do that. But primarily inclination first choice wise, most of the students like to do either a documentary or a short fiction. When that is not possible for funding issue or sponsorship issue, then they are also open to do commercials. If somebody asks them to do a commercial for their corporate company or organization, they do commercials also.
What are the facilities NID makes available to the students for their production of their films?
For coursework film, all the in-house facilities are there. We have our green room, camera, sound lab, everything. Recently we have upgraded our studio to Dolby surround sound, and the auditorium is also Dolby surround equipped. So in terms of filmmaking, we have all the modest facilities that an educational institute can afford to have to produce, say, close to 100 films a year with masters and BTech students. In graduation project, we encourage students to do it independently, on their own completely. So they raise their fund, they do their production. Only help from NID is available in terms of a guidance of a faculty. So a faculty works throughout the project as an academic guide, and the students run their scripts, ideas. At each stage they are consulting, or if there is a sponsored project, then the faculty works with the sponsor as a collaborator to guide and inform that, okay, this is the way, this is what our standards are of a graduation project, and student has to match up to those standards.
What are the avenues? You said you have good history of 40 years, and I'm sure there are a lot of films that are probably archived with you. So what is the avenue of showing these films? Do you resort to festival like this, or are there any other mediums where?
Yeah, so now that in the one of the positive things about the pandemic has been that institute has also opened up, because a lot of institutes have opened up their libraries. So NID is also now open, and we are also trying to work out some kind of collaboration with existing streaming platforms or services who can host these things, host these archives that we have. So we are exploring these options, and this year we are also hosting an international film festival called Alpaviram, which is the 6th edition of Alpaviram Film Festival, in which we are organizing an event called Cine Bazaar, which is again meant for this only. So whatever content we already have, we are going to invite all the leading media platforms to look at that content, because so far we are not sharing it online, so people are not aware. So this will be an opportunity to showcase that content. Plus we'll have work in progress left, so all the students and young filmmakers making their film, they will have the opportunity to do gap funding to complete their projects. And right from the scratch, if they just have the idea, we'll curate and provide those ideas and put it up with the media houses through that Cine Bazaar platform. So they will be able to raise funding for their film. So this is the platform that we are trying to create from this year. Alpagram has existed since 2011, so this is the 6th edition. It's also coincide with the MIFF every year, because MIFF is also happening every 2 years. Alpagram also happens every 2 years. So this is the 6th edition that we are going to do in November. November. So entries are already open, and I'm also meeting people here to collaborate on that front.
For this festival, what all films are eligible?
Our focus, as the name goes, International Youth Film Festival. It's again live action film, because we also had a animation dedicated festival for animation called Chitrakatha. That used to be done by animation department. We work in live action, so we are dealing in live action films. So any filmmaker who is below 30 years of age is eligible in the competition section. So our focus is primarily, we are, as our mandate being the Institute of National Importance, our mandate is to encourage the younger filmmakers. Those who have already made films, won award, they have their revenues already sorted, they don't need any kind of help. So generally what happens, what we have seen, that same names keeps going to different festivals. Once they understand the channels, how the film festival circuit works, they are the one who is roaming around. So Alpagram is very clear from the very beginning, and this has been from the 2011. We only give awards to films below 30 minutes, made by filmmakers below 30 years of age, below 30 minutes of film. So this year we are branding it, that competition, as F3030. So films under 30 minutes, filmmakers below 30 years of age. That is our international and Indian competition. We give golden comma and silver comma award. Alpagram is comma. So to younger filmmakers. Cinebazar is also open to young filmmakers, below 30 years of age only. And this year we are also doing audiophile, which will be a competition of radio drama and experimental soundtrack. I'm a sound designer myself. I teach sound design, and that I'm heading the discipline now. I thought, since in India we don't have a platform like this to listen to audio dramas and audio documentaries, we should create this platform. So that those new avenues will keep adding with any design institute, and NID is supposed to take lead in this. We are also doing a vertical film contest, so you shoot films in a vertical format rather than landscape using mobile phone. This we are doing in collaboration with a French film festival, and they will be hosting the film there, winners, and we will be screening during Alpagram. So instead of watching films on the screen in landscape mode, the films will be made in portrait mode, which is also open to any filmmaker. Anybody from India can participate in that. It's an India-focused competition that the French Film Festival is organizing with Alpagram.
For these films, some sort of re-recording facilities also available.
Re-recording in the sense, online platform?
Yeah, it's like putting some music later on, sound effects, or if required dubbing, that kind of thing.
Which films?
For the films that are being made, fiction films or documentary films or corporate films.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in post-production you can
Yes,
do all
we
kind
do
of
international tracks. All our students submit international tracks.
Okay.
So if anybody is interested to dub it in any other language,
Okay.
we have English subtitle as a mandatory thing on all the films. But if somebody want to acquire the film, we have made it compulsory for them to do IT track. So they do give the soundtrack in that format to us. So we can dub it in any language possible.
Any more questions to our filmmakers from your side?
So are you planning about any feature film?
Feature film?
Yep.
As student films or?
No, feature film. As a duration of 2 hours.
So our graduation film is open. If our student
feature.
manage to raise the fund, we don't
So
have
do I-
we only have minimum duration, which is 15 minutes is eligibility to complete the graduation project. But if they want to make feature films, they are most welcome. So far, We have made, like some students have made a film of 45-minute duration and all, but not more than that. But we are open to that. Web series, feature films, anything they want to make, that possibility is there.
नवीन अभी मीटिंग चल रहा है बाद में.
What do you expect out of your film now?
A few more film like festival circuits, and then probably we're planning to get it onto like an OTT platform if possible. That's what is in plan as of now for this film.
And what you say? What do you expect?
Out of this film. Yeah, it was a try to plant an idea among the people who are watching it to stay united for a betterment of India, also the humanity. We are planning to get it on OTT so that it will reach more people in a better way.
Are you already in talks with anybody for this?
No, we have to collaborate thereafter only. We have to take the opportunity they are providing. And I want to tell one thing about my film. We see many Hollywood films, they talk about Americans going to space, occupying the moon colony. So I wanted to imagine in a way where all together humans, not differentiating between nationality. But I wanted to focus the Indian lead character who is leading the team to interstellar journey, so that we could bring out such concepts in India, all over the India. All the filmmakers, we have to try different genres of films, not only stick with some kind of narrow track. We have to explore many.
Okay, thank you Sakshi ji, Hitesh ji and Setu ji. Thanks for being with us, and thank you everybody. We'll meet again.
Thank you very much for having us here.
Thank you.